Sometimes it's called a rally. The organisers call it a rally raid, but in truth it's none of these things, and all of them. Paris-Dakar is the last of the world's great adventures. And that's how it was designed by its founder, the late Thierry Sabine. Before he died in a helicopter crash on the 1986 Paris-Dakar, he said of the event, "My aim has been to push man to the very edge of his endurance, and then beyond." By 1984, the fifth year of the event, there were separate classes for cars and bikes, and the big factory teams were starting to take a serious interest. BMW launched their attack on Honda and Yamaha in the two-wheeled arena, and Rothmans and Porsche began an alliance aimed at taking the honours from Mercedes and Lada. 5 years on, Paris-Dakar was big news and big business. And still cause for celebration at the start. Sports car champion and multiple Le Mans winner Jacky Ickx had won the 1983 Paris-Dakar in a Mercedes. Now he headed the Rothmans team. By now the BMWs were challenging for the lead of the bike field. Gaston Rahier was third, though teammate Oriol was slowed by punctures. In the awesome emptiness of the Sahara, the electrics in the Jacky Ickx 911 died completely, and the problem which threatened retirement took a long while to find and correct. Some of the Paris-Dakar's most spectacular scenery is to be found almost as soon as the competitors landed on the African continent in Algeria. But in the Hogger Mountains there's a harsh and savage beauty of a landscape where the temperature in winter falls below freezing as soon as the sun goes down. The rally stops every night, there's no competition after dark, so keeping warm is the main objective. Rothmans Porsche driver Metge has grabbed the lead of the car section as Ickx's troubles multiplied. And the battle in the truck section was a tough one too. They'd been classified separately ever since the second Paris-Dakar in 1980 and were assuming a role of growing popularity and significance. 2 weeks into the event and the strain begins to tell on the machinery. And the fatigue is evident in the faces of the drivers as well. And there's another week to go. Thierry Sabine was in evidence at just about every overnight halt, updating the competitors about everything from the weather and the state of the roads to the political situation of the small countries along the route. In actual fact, calling these narrow tracks roads would be paying them an immense compliment. Metge leads, although most observers thought the Porsche simply wouldn't last the course. This kind of punishment tends to favour the purpose-built off-roaders, like Range Rover. The route this year travelled through New Guinea, where they have a firm way of dealing with spectators. And if that's the unacceptable face of crowd control, this is the unacceptable face of Jacky Ickx. He's back up to 6th, but Metge is still the man in the lead of the 84 Paris-Dakar. He's been in front for the past 9 days and the pressure is beginning to show in his face, though he maintains a steady pace on the road. Patrick Zanaroli with the Range Rover, second, but a couple of hours behind. The next port of call, Freetown in Sierra Leone, where the surviving 30% of the competitors receive an enthusiastic welcome, and the crowd control methods are the same as they have in New Guinea. After 18 days of competition, Gaston Rahier on the BMW leads the bike competitors by just 6 minutes. And it seems the crowd enjoy the crowd control as much as the local militia. Crossing this river puts the competitors within a couple of days of the Atlantic coast. Metge is still leading the car section in the Rothmans 911, despite all the predictions that he wouldn't make it out of Algeria. His MAN service barge is among the leaders of the truck section. At last they're in Senegal. 7,500 miles and 20 days after leaving Paris, the survivors have made it to the capital, Dakar, and to the Atlantic Ocean. And perhaps simply because it's there, they immediately throw Thierry Sabine in at the shallow end. And there was a different kind of spray altogether for the winners as the results of the event were announced. On two wheels, Gaston Rahier had won, with Hubert Auriol second behind him on the second of the BMWs and then the first Honda of Vassard. And there were celebrations too for the winners in the car section, for whom the journey had been just as arduous. First home, against all odds, Metge and the Porsche 911. Zanaroli with the Range Rover in second place and Cowan with the Mitsubishi in third. The 1984 Paris-Dakar ended in celebrations for the organisers and the winners, including the winners of the truck section, Rahier and Durs in the Mercedes.